Capital News tonight. Floods wreak havoc in Morogoro Municipal. An operation to remove illegal fish traps is underway on River Pangani. And in sports, 10 countries confirm participation in the Zone 5 African Youth Handball Champion. Good evening, this is Capital News at 9:30. My name is Khadija Zimbwe. First, the national news. 39 children and 9 adults have been rescued in Morogoro Municipal after their houses were flooded following heavy rains that fell in the early hours of morning. The rains have caused significant destruction on houses and cut off links along the Morogoro-Dodoma road for several hours.
Ni nyumba yote imedondoka, vyumba vitano vote vimedondoka.
The whole house with 5 rooms has fell down. 7 children and adults are left homeless. We're calling on the government to give us shelter.
Yani inawezekana kubadilika kutoka kule mitalo imefumuka huko juu. Huko kwa nini huko mifereji imefumuka. Watu tunaomba Mama Samia tusaidie. Watu wazee wako juu paa kule, wazee bondeni wako juu paa wazee. Wengine nguo zao zimeondoka, mabegi yameondoka, kupikiki kuliki.
Now, various leaders, including the District Commissioner of Morogoro, Albert Msando, have toured areas that have been affected by floods caused by rains that fell in the early hours of morning.
Lengo langu ilikuwa ni kujua kwamba ni kwa kiasi gani tuta la SGR.
I wanted to find out to what extent has SGR Hub contributed to these floods. I have formed a team to find out source of flood, because these floods were not caused by heavy rainfall, but rather water flowing to residential areas.
Kubwa ilikuwa ni mifereji na maeneo mengine ambayo yamezibwa. Kwa maana nyumba zingine zimeziba maeneo ambayo maji yanapita. Kwa hiyo hali kama hii inabidi watendaji wa mitaa, wenye viti wa mitaa, kwa maana serikali ya mitaa kuhakikisha mitaro yote iko safi.
Jana tulikuwa na mafuriko kama haya, lakini mwaka huu yamezidi sana, kiasi kwamba kuna nyumba za watu nyingi zimebomoka. Kama mnavyoona, hali halisi inajionyesha. Hii ni mfano tu, lakini kuna nyumba nyingi zimebomoka.
A team of experts from the Pangani Basin Water Board, in collaboration with residents from Ngage village in Simanjiro district, Manyara region, have started implementing an operation aimed at removing illegal fish traps set by fishermen on River Pangani that are preventing the water from flowing in its natural course.
Lakini masuala ya wando hayafai kwa sababu unazuia maji wengine kule chini hawapati.
This technique is quite harmful because it blocks water from flowing well, and people fail to get water. The government should not remain reluctant on this matter because there are more than 100 of them in one river. Since we are victims, we shall not stop removing them whenever we come across with anything that blocks water. As village government, our plan is to take action against all involved so that we end such acts in Pangani River.
Maji ya kunywa wanakosa maji kwa sababu maji yamezuiwa.
Some water infrastructures fail to operate because of these water blockades. This is a special operation to educate people that what they are doing is illegal and legal action will be taken against them. Hundreds of residents from Wasonjo community at Kisangiro village in Ngorongoro district, Arusha region, have expressed dissatisfaction on the border demarcation exercise in their village after alleging a big area of their land has become part of a neighboring village, a situation that has led to a dispute between the villages.
We are
calling for help. These people have sold their land in Kenya. and have invaded Kisangiro and the special reserve.
Ukweli kwenye kile kijiji cha Kisangiro, eneo lile tumemegwa.
Honestly, Kisangiro land has been taken away. As a local councillor, I agree that what was done was not legal, and the team has not done justice to that village.
Mipaka labda ya kiutawala sasa ndio iliyotumika na
those with complaints should come forward and raise their concerns instead of complaining without involving lower government leaders, because we are the ones responsible in dealing with all matters concerning Ngorongoro residents. The European Union EU ambassador in Tanzania and East Africa, Manfredo Fanti, has said that relations between the EU and Tanzania have continued to improve despite the Economic Partnership Agreement (EPA) and negotiations still remaining inconclusive.
A progressive increase of the volume of EU cooperation with Tanzania. Nowadays, we stand at a budget of around 105 million every year of grants from the European Union to Tanzania. This budget used essentially for projects of development cooperation in different areas such as energy, gender issues, rural development, environment, climate change, business development, private sector development. We are overall quite pleased of the quality of the implementation of the projects in the country, and especially of the policy dialogue that we have with the different stakeholders, be they in the private sector or in the public sector in the government.
EU Ambassador Manfredo Fanti has also commended the government of Tanzania on developments taking place in the country, including trade, political democracy and social services.
We see that in the last 2 years we have noticed a change in the general atmosphere. When we speak to different interlocutors in the civil society, in the media, in the business, they tell us that they feel that they are working in an environment which has improved. We have been following closely the activity of the task force that has given its report to the President of the Republic last October, and we are, of course, following closely the follow-up to that. We think that a process is engaged. It is a process that probably requires still a bit of time, but it seems to us that there is a positive trend of engagement with the opposition, with the civil society, and the announcement a few days ago that political rallies of the opposition parties were allowed again is certainly a very welcome step.
Muhimbili Orthopedic Institute MOI has said that there has been an increase in patients suffering from stroke caused by lifestyles, where in a day they receive between 7 to 10 patients with blood vessel problems in the brain.
Hapa MOI ni mojawapo ya wapokeaji wa magonjwa yanayotokana na haya magonjwa yasiyoambukiza.
MOI is a department that receives patients with non-communicable diseases, and recently we have had many cases of stroke, which is highly contributed by hypertension. In a year, we might get up to 150 patients.
Sasa ni utaalamu ambao unaongezeka katika ulimwengu. Kwa hiyo ndio maana tumeamua tufanye fellowship.
We started this fellowship where we shall treat 40 patients. The expert will conduct the surgery fully, while local surgeries will be there to help, and other surgeries the expert will do half and local surgeons will participate. This training has helped us in building capacities that will allow us to get more experience of treating patients instead of referring them to foreign countries. Now, the winner of the first car won in the Mchezo Super Draw ran by Radio 1 last year, Vitus Miti from Mjimwema in Songea Municipal Ruvuma region has said since winning the car, his livelihood has improved as the car has facilitated his business activities.
Lazima ujisikie furaha. Furaha ilijaa, lakini mwisho wa siku kazoea maisha.
I was happy to win the car. I'm used to it now. It is helping me a lot in simplifying my movements and cuts a lot of transportation costs.
Nilikuwa mtu wa kwanza kumpinga sababu nilikuwa siamini kama ameshinda gari. Sababu nilimwambia itakuwa tu ni wa SMS za ajabu tu hivi na hivi michezo tu ya kawaida tu sikuamini.
I was the first one to criticize him because I did not believe that he won a car. I am happy that our boss won a car. It has simplified a lot of our work. I have been inspired and kept on motivating others to also participate in the draw. And that is the end of national news. International news follows up next. Welcome back, and in business news tonight. Hundreds of people in the Somali capital Mogadishu attended a government-organized rally on Thursday to protest against Al-Qaeda-linked Al-Shabaab group. Somalia's president, who was part of the rally, used the event to call on Somalis to help flush out members of the Al-Shabaab group. Now, moving on, President William Ruto of Kenya has said that his government will complete pending projects started by his predecessor, Uhuru Kenyatta. President William Ruto made the pledge as he began his two-day tour of Nyanza region, accompanied by Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua.
Nataka niwahakikishie nikisimama hapa Homa Bay ya kwamba mimi niko tayari, nitafanya kazi na viongozi wenu wote ambao mmechagua. Kwa sababu tumemaliza siasa, sasa ni mambo ya maendeleo. Hatuwezi kuendelea kuongea mambo ya viongozi. Nyinyi kama wananchi mmefanya sehemu yenu, mmetuchagua. Sasa ile imebaki ni sehemu ya wananchi sisi kuwafanyia kazi.
Tumekuja hapa na rais kupanga maendeleo na kutafuta urafiki na nyinyi. Tupangane na nyinyi mambo ya mbele. Mungetaka tupangane huko mbele? Sisi tuko hapa na rais na tumeleta maendeleo kwa sababu nyinyi pia ni wa Kenya, na rais amesema kila Mkenya ahusishwe kwa maendeleo, na hapa Homa Bay mtapata maendeleo, mtakuja kupenda sisi tena zaidi. Asanteni sana.
Benin's pro-government parties have won a majority of seats in parliament in a vote marking the return of the opposition after 4 years of absence. Parties supporting President Parties Talon, the Republic Bloc, and the Progressive Union for Renewal together won 81 out of 109 seats in parliament. It was the first time the opposition was participating in elections since cotton magnate Talon came to power in 2016. And that is the end of international news. Business news is next after the break. Welcome back, and in business news tonight. The government has started construction of mineral research centers in the country that will enable miners identify areas that have minerals instead of conducting mining activities in areas that will incur them heavy losses as well as cause environmental destruction. The ministry should set a plan of updating technologies so that we could have updated data frequently. In order to get accurate data, there are no miracles apart from following up on drilling procedures. NMB Bank, through its Master Bata Kote Kote campaign, says its final draw, it will award 7 winners and their partners a trip to Dubai. In this campaign, so far we expect more than 300 million shillings will be given away and 854 customers will win prizes. So far we had 637 winners who have won 100,000 shillings each. The campaign will continue in the next 2 weeks. Right now we are on the 8th week. I'm happy to be a winner, and I call on others to continue using NMB card in making payments and use services offered by NMB. These competitions are real and people do really win prizes. Tunduru Agricultural Marketing Cooperative Union TAMCU in Rovuma region has sold 14,000 tons of cashews worth 25 billion shillings, with farmers expressing dissatisfaction on the buying price, which are lower compared to the last season.
Tumeuza minada 9 na huu leo ni wa 10.
This is a 10th auction where a total of over 14 tons of cashew were sold worth 25 billion shillings.
Msimu uliopita tulikusanya zaidi ya tani 25,000.
Bei zimezidi kushuka ukilinganisha na gharama za uendeshaji wa shamba.
Prices have continued to go down comparing to farm running costs. We are calling on the government to look at farmers. And that is the end of business news. Sports news follows up next. Welcome back, and in sports news. The Zone 5 Youth African Handball Championship will take place in Tanzania from 24th to 30th of April this year, with 10 countries confirming participation.
Ya Afrika kanda ya 5 yanafanyika Dar es Salaam, tutatumia uwanja wa ndani.
The Zone 5 African Handball Competition will take place in Dar es Salaam. We will use the National Indoor Stadium. We continue to be in talks with Ngome on using their court, but they will take place in Dar es Salaam from 24th to 30th of April. We already have the formal letter of hosting the competition from the World Federation.
DSTV will show all 32 African Nations Championship CHAN matches, which kick off on January 13th.
Ambacho tunahimiza sana sana ni mteja wa POA kuweza kulipia kipindi hiki.
The only thing is that we urge the POA customers to subscribe to this package, as they can pay 10,000 and we will upgrade them to the bomber package of 23,000 and hence become able to see the competition. It is easy to pay. One can only press in their phone *150 *53# and follow the instructions.
Dar es Salaam athletics team coach and Athletics Tanzania member Idi Muhunzi is concerned on the poor performance shown in indoor track and field competitions prior to the upcoming Ladies First Women's competition that will take place from 22nd to 23rd of this month.
Wale wenye kukimbia kwenye track, wale kuna mwalimu wao aloteuliwa kuwa nao anawafundisha.
The ones running on track have their own coach where they know themselves. I've agreed to that. They will just come to participate and nothing else, as compared to our fellows from Zanzibar who have prepared themselves and other regions. But for Dar es Salaam, I don't know, because I can see the ground every day, morning to evening, and I don't see them.
Now, KMC FC have forced a draw in the NBC Premier League game against which ended 1-1. Now, the hosts went ahead at the Manungu Stadium with the David Kameta goal in the 9th minute before KMC equalized in the 78th minute thanks to a penalty by Sadala Lipangile. And that is the end of our news bulletin for tonight. My name is Khadija Zimbo. Thank you for watching and good night.
Watch Capital News at 9:30 and get updated on what is happening in Tanzania and around the world on political, social, and economic issues and events, without forgetting business and sports news. You can get it all right here on Capital News at 9:30 from Monday to Friday on Zuku Channel 067, Digitech Channel 1103, and Facebook.